Welcome back to the channel. Over the past few videos in our Who's Who series, we've talked about all of the major overall players in this battle that is raging in the dimensional realm between the powers of good and evil, and how that battle actually manifests itself in certain situations into the physical world. And unfortunately, but let's use it as an example, this global pandemic, this global lockdown that has occurred, you can actually start seeing a lot of the conflict that is raging between, let's say, the citizenry and states' governments here in the United States. Same thing is happening in other nations across the globe, where there is this conflict between should we open the country to individuals to get back to work and start working on the economy, and people start getting back to their jobs and start making a living, or government officials, we're seeing certain of the amount of them pushing back against that. So again, you can see this conflict, but we're really starting to see a lot of other things that are very suspicious and unusual that are happening because of this. We have very, very low, like California, for instance, new numbers are coming out of people that are actually in, that have the mortality rate is extremely low. Let's say 0.00013 something, I believe. I mean, it's unprecedented just how low it is. In fact, more people die of so many other things, and we never ever shut the entire state down of California, or let alone the whole entire country or the world, because of such low numbers. And this is starting to percolate to the surface with the citizenry, where people are saying, hey, there's something wrong here. An example is if someone comes into an office building or into a company, let's say a factory, and that individual happens to be sick. Well, the whole entire factory doesn't shut down. That individual is asked to go back home until they feel better, and then come back. But you don't shut an entire factory down because somebody is sick. And this is exactly what's happening, and people are really starting to question, what's going on here? This doesn't make sense at all. Why are we shutting the entire country down, or a state like California with such a huge economy that has been absolutely just devastated because of this? And many of us, certainly a lot of economists probably know this before most people, certainly myself and a lot of individuals throughout the country, but the economic devastation we haven't even experienced yet. It's going to get far worse before it starts getting better. You just have companies that have already made decisions not to hire everybody back. So you're going to have a significant amount, whatever that percentage happens to be, of the workforce that has already been displaced by a loss of their job, that will not have a job to return to. Although many people are thinking that they have been technically laid off for 30 to 60, 90 days or furloughed, but a lot of those people are just simply not going to come back. The devastation that that's going to have is a ripple effect of now all of a sudden you have people, a drastically increased number of individuals that will not return, that are currently conserving, not spending a lot of money. That's just going to have a ripple effect, because every single dollar that they earn and that they filter into the economy, right, can be multiplied many times. The money that they would take and, let's say, put into a savings account, then a bank could then, through the fractional reserve banking system, could then lend that money out at a tenfold or more rate for every single dollar that is in there. So individuals, as you start piling on more and more, that means like more and more people that would otherwise put their money into a bank, let's say $1 million, for example, be a collection of thousands of people putting their money into the bank. That money now is not there. That means that that bank cannot now lend out 10 million or 12 million or 14 million dollars, right? That would go into the economy. That would go into building houses, buying, extending loans for cars, for fixing up their homes, for whatever. So that money then is, again, exponentially now affecting the economy and the inability for those houses, for example, to be built. And that's just going to, again, just one example, but have a ripple effect. Maybe loans for people to start businesses. Again, there's not going to be that money for people to actually do that. That's just going to continue to happen and continue to trickle out in a negative way. So again, I'm not an economist, but I'm reading a lot of this information, and the general overall concept of this is pretty simple to understand. It's pretty clear. So that's where, again, you're starting to really start seeing a lot of this frustration that people are having, certainly as in California as an example. There's just absolutely no reason for it, for that state to continue to be locked down with the mortality rate as low as it is. People die every single day. The fact that we're attributing certain numbers of people dying, and in some regards, wrongly so, to this event, it's simply, that would be one thing. But even if those numbers were correct in the state of California, again, for example, those numbers are so low that it absolutely doesn't justify that state being closed. Yet there's tremendous amount of pushback in California and other states to keep it, the state closed. That's only going to exponentially hurt week by week by week, by lost paycheck after lost paycheck. That is going to cause this ripple effect of tremendous economic devastation. Again, we've all been just huddled in our homes, not being able to go out, spending on a very limited basis, conserving, and that is going to, again, continue the longer that the openings take. It's just going to have this ripple effect after the fact down the road, and that's just going to cause a tremendous amount of problems, economically speaking. So again, the purpose of this channel is to get you prepared for things. The book that I wrote, The Deathless War, this is all about this battle and about how this is raging in the dimensional realm, certainly right now with what's happening, and how to prepare, how to see things, understand things, and prepare, think 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of where everybody else is thinking. So on the economic front, that's one area that we absolutely have to start preparing for. So I would, again, encourage you, I'll do videos on this channel to help as many people as I can, including myself. I am extremely affected by this as well. So this isn't something that I'm just telling, I'm going to give information and assistance and try and help you with. These are things that I'm looking into myself, and I'll be dealing with this right along with you. But again, we need to have forward thinking, and understanding this battle is in some cases is just getting started. As far as this current event that we're dealing with, we might be seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, but the ramifications of this, certainly on an economic front, are far from over. So stay tuned to the channel. Thanks again for your time. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video.